And I've spoken to a lot of new YouTubers that get frustrated because some of them are friends of mine, and they say, man, I can't get more than 20 views. I can't get more than this. I can't get more than that. And I always tell them, I said, dude, do it because you love doing it. If you're doing it for the views, it's the wrong reason. You got to put your heart and that's anything in life, right? You got to want to do it. You want to put your heart and soul into it. And if it pays a dividend, great. And if it doesn't, you had fun doing it, right? It's the journey, not the destination, right?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel. So this video is going to be a piece of my interview with the Tone King. Now the Tone King, I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with him. He really is kind of one of the first guys, if not the first, who was doing guitar videos on YouTube. Now, because he's been doing it so long, I think he's got some really interesting perspectives on YouTube and the guitar YouTube community. So in this clip here, we are talking a little bit about his history on YouTube and sort of how things are today, and if there are too many guitar YouTube people, if it's too saturated, or if there's still room for new people coming in. Now, this full interview is very long. He and I talked for over an hour. So I'm going to be uploading several different videos with different pieces of this interview. So look out for those in the future. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already, if you like content like this, and definitely check out the Tone King's channel. I'll put a link for that in the video description below. But okay, let's go ahead and check out this interview with the Tone King. All right, guys, here we go with the interview. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with this guy, or you've at least seen some of his videos. The Tone King, for me, is one of the OG guitar YouTuber channels. And I was looking at your stats just recently. You've got over 2,500 videos. And I believe you've been, the channel's been around since 2008, if that's, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but thanks a ton for being on here and just, welcome, man.
Yeah, no, first of all, thank you for asking me to be on here. I appreciate it. I was very humbled that you asked me, and it's my pleasure to be here. And I think my first video was actually 2006, but the brand didn't exist yet.
Right.
This was like cat days of YouTube, cat videos, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been a while. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it has been a while. And no, I'm thrilled to be here, and I look forward to having a chat with you.
Yeah, well, I think longevity is a good thing. I feel like on YouTube, there's a lot of people who kind of start out with big plans, and it ends up being a lot more difficult than they realize at first. And I feel like the people who last, obviously it's a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication to do it as consistently and as long as you have. But I feel like because you've been doing this for a while and you've made so many videos, and you're talking to people in the industry all the time, and obviously you and I met originally in person, like back at the Tomon event and so forth.
Yep.
Over the years, well, okay, before we get into that, actually let's step back. When you first started doing your first gear review videos, did you set out with a goal? Like, were you trying to build a big channel, or was it just a fun thing? Like, how did you first get started doing gear reviews and that kind of stuff?
That's a great question. I was actually at I have a day job, and back then I was at a trade show, hanging out with a coworker of mine, and he asked me, did you check out YouTube? I never even heard of it, and I signed up for it then and there at the trade show on my company laptop, and this was like the time of, early YouTube. It's, in fact, I watched a TikTok video recently, and it said, what era of YouTube did you start watching YouTube? And there was like cat videos, and then there were commercials, to compare and contrast the difference between then and now. And what I thought was, I was always a collector. I always loved my gear, right? Like all of us gearheads. And I thought it was brilliant that, wow, you could actually make a video of how your stuff sounds and use that as a library. Because if you remember, when you wanted to buy a pickup back then, or if you wanted to buy an amp back then, you'd have to go to the manufacturer's website, and there would be wave files like sound samples, clean, dirty, lead, rhythm. And that's how you got to evaluate gear. So I used YouTube back then to just hear what my gear sounded like and try to build a library of that. There was no thing of, I don't think even the term or the term YouTuber existed. Right. So it was really just I looked at it as a library, a way to, like Google Drive, right? A place to put your files. I thought it would be cool, a place to put your sound samples, but video format of the gear that I own. And I had no idea it would have turned into what it is today. So yeah, I didn't join YouTube then to be a YouTuber. It's funny because today people, join YouTube to be YouTubers. In fact, I hear kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? They say, I want to be a YouTuber. It's like, it's a thing now, but back then it wasn't a thing. Right. So it was whatever you wanted it to be. And for me, it was a library, a place to make video of my gear. That's how it all started.
Yeah. I mean, that it makes perfect sense what you're saying. And it's funny because you say like, back then, if you had told somebody, hey, I'm going to play guitar on the internet for a living, and make money, it was like, what, like that's, it's a pipe dream or something. And I feel like that, for me, I kind of pushed it off for a long time because there was a little bit of a stigma around it. It's like, oh no, I want to be out there on tour. I don't want to be like some guy on the internet, but now, like Jared Dines last year, he's on the cover of Guitar World magazine. And he's, obviously he's a guitarist and he has band projects and stuff, but all of his success really just comes from YouTube, and now he's the guy on the cover of the magazines. And it's like, it's gone through an incredible evolution over the years.
Yep, absolutely.
So one of my questions, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, considering now today how popular it is to have a gear channel, or to do guitar videos and things like that, do you think, has it become too saturated? Like, are there too many people doing it now? Or do you think there's still room for new people coming in and that kind of thing? How do you feel about that?
That's a really good question. And I could answer that question in both directions. Do I think it's saturated? Absolutely. However, it's the internet. Anyone that wants to do it should do it. It's one of those, there's no right or wrong. I think I'm thankful. And again, none of this was planned. Sometimes you're at the right place at the right time and you do something that makes a difference in somebody's life, right? And sometimes you don't. You're not at the right place at the right time. I think my channel is what it is today is because I saw a vision in, being able to use this tool called YouTube to do something with it. I had no idea it would be what it is today, as I had mentioned. And I'm fortunate for that. That seemed to have paid a dividend. And I'm not talking money dividend. Some money, not a lot. That's probably another question you have, I'm sure. But just a dividend of really being able to give back to the community, right? It's been fun. It's been a fun journey. A lot of opportunities opened up for me. Now, that's why everyone should do it, right? If that's what you want to do, I believe people should do whatever it is that they want to do to make them happy, right? In fact, I like watching motivational speakers, and they always say, if that's what you want to do, go do it. Follow your dreams. Don't let obstacles get in the way. Overcome obstacles, that type of thing. So if you want to do it, go do it. With that said, is it saturated? Yeah. There's a massive amount. I don't even know what the numbers are. Trillions of minutes a day.
Right.
And the way I look at YouTube, the way people consume YouTube, the way I consume it, the way you consume it, the way everyone consumes it, I find, there's the concept of disposable income. It's like, hey, you only have so much money to just throw at something that you don't need, right? I feel like there's disposable time. There's only so many minutes or hours in the day that you could throw it at something that, you know, you could be doing something more productive than laying in bed with an iPad watching YouTube, right? And when there's a lot of content, I think it's harder today now than ever to bubble up, because you're the person that's creating the content that is, I don't know if buried is the right word, but it's saturated with all the other content that's out there. It's hard. And I've spoken to a lot of new YouTubers that get frustrated because, some of them are friends of mine, and they say, man, I can't get more than 20 views. I can't get more than this. I can't get more than that. And I always tell them, I said, dude, do it because you love doing it. If you're doing it for the views, it's the wrong reason. You got to put your heart and that's anything in life, right? You got to want to do it. You want to put your heart and soul into it. And if it pays a dividend, great. And if it doesn't, you had fun doing it, right? It's the journey, not the destination, right? And I think some people look at it as a destination. If I do this, I'll get where I want to be. I don't think, in my humble opinion, I don't think YouTube is a destination thing. I think it's a journey thing. And both of us have experienced some of that journey, right? We got to meet at an event that we were both invited to.
Yeah.
That's part of the journey, not the destination, right? So I answered the question in both directions. Is it saturated? Yes. But should you do it? Absolutely. If you want to do it. Long-winded answer, but hopefully that answers your question.
No, that's a great answer, and I think what you're saying is exactly, that falls in line with the stuff I've seen and the stuff I've been thinking. I do feel bad for the guys who are just starting out today and who are trying to build something, because it is,
it's tough.
It's tough. There's always, I think there is always a way some way to kind of distinguish yourself from other people in the crowd and that kind of stuff. But I think it's not as easy as it used to be. I started seriously kind of doing videos maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And I think it was probably a little bit easier back then, but yeah, today it's just like,
and you know what? I think it'll be easier today than it will be in 2 years from now, right? So I don't know if there's any real good time to start. Just start when you want to start. And I think you really just need to focus on the journey though, Yeah. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough for sure. Even for people that have been doing it for a while, once upon a time I was getting 200,000 views, because there was less disposable time, right? People would watch my channel. And I'm also friendly with bigger YouTubers, channels 3 times my size, and they see the same thing where they used to get 100,000 views on every video. Now they get maybe 20, maybe 30, not 100 anymore, unless it's, real engaging. Right. It's and I think that's a result of being saturated. So gotta love doing what you do. I think that's the important thing.
Okay, guys, so that was a clip from my interview with the Tone King. He's the guy, to me, who's kind of just like the original guitar YouTuber. He's been making videos for like 15 years. He's got over 2,500 videos. Now, I'm going to link a bunch of stuff down in the video description below, so I definitely want to encourage you to check out his channel if you haven't already. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with him, but even if you've seen some of his stuff in the past, I think it's worth taking another look at the stuff he's doing today. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and let me know in the comment section below what you think of these interview type videos. I had a really good time doing this, and I'm probably going to be doing more of these in the future. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you think about it in the comment section below. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.